How many times do we see these guys, people come into the program, and the next thing they know, like they're 2 months sober. And now you talk to them, what are they doing? Oh, I'm going to the gym every day, I'm working out. Like, that's all part of that pink cloud.
Yes.
And that's one of the other reasons why I say, and my advice is, put your efforts into your sobriety. Your physical, your health, all of that is important. But put your effort into your sobriety early on. And then all that other stuff will come to you. You'll have plenty of time for that. You have plenty of time for going to the gym. But most of us come in with a lot of stuff to clean up. And we have some things to clean up. And we got to spend some time cleaning up our messes. And then we can look forward and go, okay, now I have some time. Maybe I could do this. At least that's the way it worked for me.
Steve, you get sober, and then you got to do some work. So I remember getting sober back in the day, and you had that pink cloud, and you felt like you could take on the universe, and then it goes away after a while. You remember those days, and what were the things that we needed to do to get past it?
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
It feels like forever since we've gotten together. Yeah, that pink cloud is definitely something that happens to a lot of people in recovery, right? And it's a lot of it's because for many of us, not all of us, obviously, but for many of us, we come in so beaten down, so emotionally drained. And for me personally, when I came in, especially the first time, the second time I knew I could find AA and I knew I had a solution. But the first time when I came in 95, like I was desperate. Like I just had no clues. Like I didn't know if I could stop drinking. And then once you do, you just have that. You have that moment like, wow, I can. This is happening. But, the possibilities of life starts running through you, and you just get this feeling, like you said, you could take on the world. Like, oh wow, I could accomplish all of these things that I thought I could do before I started drinking, or maybe while I was drinking. But it does go away.
Oh yeah,
it goes away when reality starts sitting in, right? And this is the thing. I think a lot of times early on is that if you're in a relationship, if you're in a marriage, or just your family, if you're mom and dad, like everybody, they only care about you getting better, so there's no stressors on you early in recovery a lot of times, right? And then all of a sudden, as time goes on, people start having expectations of you outside of your recovery, like,
right.
Hey, the world still goes around. So.
Yes.
So that's where it goes. It pops, if you will, or whatever it might be, and then you gotta start figuring out. Well, what do I do now? That's the question. What do I do now?
Yeah, I remember feeling as though I should have done this a long time ago. This was a lot easier than I thought. Not so much. But early on, it feels like I got this.
Yeah,
this isn't hard. And I'm seeing some positive aspects in the body.
Right.
And it is temporary. If you're feeling that way and you've just gotten sober, this is a temporary thing. Ride it for as long as you can, but be prepared to do the work. Matter of fact, try doing the work while you're feeling really good to kind of get into that place.
Right.
So here are some reasons biologically why it happens. Your dopamine levels are adjusting. Your brain is starting to rebalance. You've got that recovery period, but chemically in the brain, it's starting to come down. So you're kind of protected brain-wise. Now you're starting to feel some of those things. So you got to do some work at that point.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like you said, while you're feeling that, certainly if you're in our program, which is AA, that would be the time to go get yourself a sponsor.
Yes,
that would be the time to say, "Hey, listen, I want to sort of dive into some of these steps, get started." And ride that for as long as you can, and again, that will help you get your feet set in the program. So that's a great piece of advice. If you're new or if you're feeling that way, that's the time to attack it. Because what happens is, right, listen, life gets in the way. We talk about our lives all the time, how crazy your life is with your kids, and
Yes.
I'm dealing with some stuff with my wife's health right now. Like, life gets in the way. And I just know for me personally, it's really important that I have a program, right? It's important that I have a program so that I could get through these stressors that I'm dealing with right now. And there's a lot going on right now. Without feeling, I can't say without feeling overwhelmed, because I do, but without feeling like there's no end to it. Like, I don't have a solution. And the thing I realized today is, like, I need to have that program, because I need to touch that program every now and then. That's
Right.
why I do my meetings, right? I've always done, like, 3 meetings is my sweet spot. Like, 3 regular meetings. 3 regular meetings a week is my sweet spot. And I like them spaced. I like them spaced. I don't like to do a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then have 4 days with no meetings. So, and it's just the way it happens to me. I go to a Monday, I go to a Friday, and I just recently, last year, about a year ago, I found the Wednesday meeting that I like. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I go, and then once in a while, I'll hit something on a Saturday or a Sunday if I need an extra meeting. Or, I went to a Monday noon meeting. I went to 2 meetings last week because I just felt like I needed to, right? Got a lot going on. And I was available to go to this noon meeting, which I haven't been able to do for a long time. So I'm like, let me pop into this meeting. So for me, it's important to have that. And that for me did start during the pink cloud period, right? Is getting on that program. But it started because, like I said, I got a sponsor. I started working the program right away. So, which doesn't always mean, like, you don't got to go, let me hurry through these steps. That's not the point.
No.
The point is to get into it and start working the program, which is meetings and talking to other alcoholics and all that kind of stuff that we do on a regular basis to help us deal with the stresses of life, because I drank because of the stresses of life, right? I've been talking about it a lot lately. Like, this is where I would be drinking. Like, my wife has been in the hospital rehab for the last, since June 7th, she's been, in either hospital or rehab. And I just thought about, like, if I was drinking, I'd be doing what I could. Like, I was responsible. Like, I would be doing what I could during the day. I'd be going to visit her. And then I would be coming home at night and getting hammered every night. That's what I would be doing. I would be getting hammered every night. Because that's the way I drank. I could handle my responsibilities for the most part. I would do what I needed to do. I'd go visit her. I'd put on that facade. And then I'd come home and get hammered all by myself.
Yep.
And I would do that every night. And I'm so grateful that I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, me too. I'm not in your situation, but
Right.
I have had an extreme amount of stress, the traveling and stuff. One daughter hopping and landing the wrong way, and we found out there's a hairline fracture on the top of her tibia. A couple days later, the other daughter catches a hole in the soccer field, and I got to take her on an ambulance ride to Children's Hospital. So one is in rehab now. The other one we're going to a follow-up. They are remarkably fine. It is shocking how well they're doing based on what the injuries looked like.
Yeah.
On top of a trip up to Vermont and the other kid going the other way doing stuff. I have told people at work that work has been the least of my issues. Work has kind of been a safe haven, but I just have felt exhausted and tired. And that would be something where I would release with alcohol. I would feel like I deserve to drink.
Absolutely. No question about it. I just texted our friend Lori from Monday night, texts me every once in a while. She'll say, hey, checking in, how you doing? And here's what I said. Right now, and I mean this honestly, like, I don't have good days, but I have days that are not bad. And that's, I said, and I'll take those right now. Like, that's what it is for me. I have days that are not bad. And for those who listen to us, we're both from Connecticut. And for one of the first times, Friday, we have the TPC golf tournament, the Travelers Golf Tournament happening here.
Yep.
I love golf. And so Friday, I was able to get out, tell my wife, like, hey, I'm not going to come up and see you today. My daughter and I went down to the golf tournament, and I spent the day, watching the best golfers in the world play. And it was such a nice thing for me to be able to do. And I shared about it, right? And in the past, I would go there and I would drink like crazy.
Me too.
I would go there, and that my whole thing, I mean, I'd be drinking and watching a little golf is what I'd be doing instead of watching a bunch of golf. And it's just, I'm just so happy that I have that ability to do something like that today. But again, going back to Pink Cloud, it's a great feeling. And I remember even when I came in the second time, when after my relapse, I had that pink cloud. Like I was like, okay, boom, I licked this again, right? Like I knew it early on that I was going to be able to stop the drinking. I mean, that wasn't a problem. We've talked about this before. My drinking and my alcoholism are two different things. They're related, they're connected, but they're not the same thing. So I knew when I came in, I was going to be able to stop that drinking. The question was I going to be able to get better mentally, emotionally, physically? And that's a little bit of when the pink cloud hit for me. It was like, oh, I could get better. I can get healthier. I can get healthier emotionally. I can get healthier mentally. I could get healthier physically. Like all of those things, they come rushing in. That's why you see, right? How many times do we see these guys, people come into the program, and the next thing they know, like they're 2 months sober. And now you talk to them, what are they doing? Oh, I'm going to the gym every day. I'm working out. Like that's all part of that pink cloud.
Yes.
And that's one of the other reasons why I say, and my advice is, put your efforts into your sobriety.
Yeah.
Your physical, your health, all of that is important. But put your effort into your sobriety early on, and then all that other stuff will come to you.
Right.
You'll have plenty of time for that. You have plenty of time for going to the gym. But most of us come in with a lot of stuff to clean up. You know, we have some things to clean up, and we got to spend some time cleaning up our messes. And then we can look forward and go, okay, now I have some time. Maybe I could do this. At least that's the way it worked for me.
It's a good time to find some good literature, too. Yeah. I started with Living Sober, which is it's a much easier read than the big book.
Yeah.
Much easier read. And it has lots of practical stuff in there that you could read 5 pages and you get something from those 5 pages. Like, if you feel like drinking, read 5 more pages. It says stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're on that pink cloud, get Living Sober. Go through it. You can go through it a bunch of times, and you can get something there to prepare yourself. The sponsor is an important piece, and it's important because you have somebody to talk to about your feelings. Good sponsor is going to make you call them every single day, not text, call.
Right.
So that they can hear what your voice sounds like. And if things are really, 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 really good, tell them it's really good. Your sponsor may be able to guide you. Wow, it sounds like you're on a pink cloud. Enjoy this. It may not be forever, so let's do this work. And I think it's also worth not rushing. I wanted to rush through everything. I wanted to check the box.
Yeah.
It's not how it works. I think I read the big book in a weekend. I didn't learn anything from that.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, some people can. Yeah. And Living Sober is a great recommendation, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's exactly what it talks about, living sober. It's like, how do you handle, it talks about situations that you're going to find yourself in. That's what it talks about. And like, what do you do? It's an easy read. It's helpful. It's a great read for someone in early sobriety. And listen, as an alcoholic, I came in, and I still have that characteristic, selfishness and self-centeredness, right? Mm-hmm. That's the way I came in. And I still have some of that in me. But I manage it much better than I used to. So when I wanted something, I wanted it now. And that still happens to me today. Like, I want it now, and I don't want to wait for my stuff. And that's what happens to a lot of us when we start working the program and we start working the steps. We want it now. We want all the recovery now. We
Absolutely.
want the good feeling now. We want, if we have financial problems, we want those fixed now. So, and again, this is where a sponsor comes in. Sponsor's going to go, it's like the jockey on the racehorse, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to be pulling back when he needs to pull back on you, and just like slow down, and then a good sponsor will see if once you're ready to go, will let you go. But it's really, really important that when you come in, you don't try to do too much too fast. For most of us, again, these are general terms, and other people, I've seen people come in and do the steps, boom, and they're good. But and again, I don't know how those people drink. I don't know what their brain was like when they drank. I just know what my brain was like when I drank. And like I said, it's one of the things that happened to me is when I would get stressed, I would drink. And I would drink to oblivion. I wouldn't drink till I had a buzz and felt good. I would drink until I was stumbling. And this is just at home, right? I'd be drinking until I was stumbling and it was time to go lay on the bed and do something called sleep, which is more pass out.
Yep.
And I did that over and over and over again for too long of my life.
We are not very self-aware when we're drinking. I'm thinking of this because I just did like some lessons at work around self-awareness. And I don't know how self-aware we are when we get sober. That sponsor or people you really trust can make you self-aware, or they can say, this is what I'm seeing about you. And you need to hear that because that pink cloud could be flying on something that is not reality. So I think another thing to do during that time is make some friends in recovery. Connect with people who have things that you want. And for the most part, people are going to want to make a connection with you because it does help keep them sober. And it's what people did for them at the time. Yeah. And I was good with that. I connected with people and they invited me to do stuff with them. Right. And that was important.
My Friday night meeting, I happened to be chairing this week, and I didn't even remember until the secretary of the group texted me, "Hey, I got you chairing. I got you chairing tonight." And I'm like, "Good, I needed that," and it worked out well. And I've talked about the fellowship, because again, I want to harp on what's happening in my life, but I've needed help recently. Like I got some stuff going on. So my wife's coming home from rehab in a wheelchair. Right. And so I needed a ramp and I needed, I wasn't sure, but it turns out I needed a hospital bed. All these things are available for me to go out and rent. Right. They are. And I've checked into that. But here's the thing that I talk about making friends and being part of the program is when I went to the Monday night meeting, I made an announcement. Hey, I'm looking for a hospital bed. And all I was asking for, if you know some place that you've had experience renting one, let me know. So I would get a good, and somebody said, hey, I know a guy who has one. Right. And so I'm going to pick that up today. Right. It's not going to cost me anything. It's a fully functioning hospital bed that he bought for a family member, and he said, I bought it for situations like this. I knew people would need it. These are both guys in AA. I went to my Wednesday meeting. A woman there was taking care of her husband for 12 years. She had a wheelchair for me. She had a bath bench for me, which sort of straddles the tub. All of this stuff I'm getting, right? I'm getting from people in the program. When I needed the ramp, I called my buddy Edson. I'm like, Edson, I need your help. I need to build a ramp. I need help doing it. He came over yesterday. We built a ramp, right? So all of this stuff is happening because I came into this program, just like you said, I made friends. I made myself available to help other people. And then when I need it, people are there available to help me. So it's really important to make those connections. For me, the fellowship is huge. It's how I get through. It's who I talk to, right? I mean, I have a couple people that I talk to outside of the program on a regular basis. I have a couple family members, some cousins and stuff who I'll talk to regularly. But 90% of the people that I talk to on a regular basis are in the program. 90%. Mm-hmm. I mean it. And then the other part are their family, right? You take out family. I'm talking to very few people that aren't family or aren't in the program. I got a few friends, but not many, not many that I talk to regularly. So making those friends, finding that thing. Again, we talk about my hiking, our buddy John, right? Like one of the things when I came in, I found that community to do that, right? And those are the type of things you can find when you're on that pink cloud too. Those are the healthy things you can find. You can find people with similar interests, right? People talk about all the time, sober bowling league, sober softball. I don't know if they exist anymore. I don't hear people talking about them, but people talked about when they came in that they found those communities, for themselves. And they're out there. You do have to do a little bit of work and find them.
Yeah, I don't know if there are a lot of softball leagues anyways, or bowling leagues. We've changed as a society, but there are things to do. I've just got this image in my head of Vito Spatafor and his brother come into your house to build the ramp. Richie April told us we were supposed to do this.
Yeah, something like that, right? That's it. Yeah, we were told that we had to come over and build this ramp. Yeah, that's the way that works sometimes.
Really sorry for what he did to Beansy.
Right. It was great, and everything's going as good as it can. I live a blessed life, even though life's not perfect. I live a blessed life, and like I said, I take the good. I take the good with bad nowadays. Life is life. That's one thing I realized. Life is life, like you talked about with your kids, right?
As it is for everybody,
right? Like there's no getting away from the shit fairy, as I like to say. Shit fairy comes, and I thought the shit fairy was leaving my house, a month ago, and it turns out no, it wasn't. It was just getting started for me. So that's life, and my life has changed, and I have a little volunteer job that I do, and I've had to put that on hold, and I was supposed to go to a conference at the end of July, and my employer is like, don't worry about it, they had bought tickets to this thing, which, like $650 for my tickets to get into this conference. So I reached out to them, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't know if there's a time you can get your money back. And they're like, don't worry about it. You take care of your stuff, right? And don't even worry about work, which is a blessing to have, right? I still do my work because I work from home, but it's not something I have to be too concerned with. But those are all the things, right? Those are the things that happen after the peak cloud goes away.
Yes.
Right? So you come in, you're all fired up. I want to get sober. I'm happy. Your wife, your girlfriend, mom and dad, whoever it might be, everybody's pleased with you. Everybody's excited for you. Oh, look they're finally getting sober. So all of those, like you said, the dopamine is hitting. It's getting a little bit, like I said, it's leveling out for you. And that's the other thing that happens too, is because of what alcohol does to our brain, you get some weird feelings in early sobriety.
Oh yeah,
not all good ones. They're not all good ones. Nope. Because your brain is just so much out of sync. It just doesn't know what to do, and it takes a while for it to reset itself. And so you got to be careful. I mean, the pink cloud is great, but there's some other side effects too you got to be careful of. So. Again, we harp on it. I say it all the time. We'll say it again. That's where having a sponsor, that's where being part of a group is so helpful.
Yes.
And again, if you're not in AA, then that's fine. Find your community and then get out there and talk to your community and then let people who have a lot more sobriety than you have help you. That's all I can tell you if you're not an AA person.
There really is a benefit of AA. I'm not trying to promote AA. But the benefit there is you can walk in and you're around people who can understand you.
Right.
Even if you don't ever want to work the steps or be a part of AA, there's a lot of benefit of just stopping it every once in a while. It's been years now that we talked to the host of the Bubble Hour, whose name is escaping me. Because I have a mic in front of me, my brain shuts down. But it's an episode way back, Gene McCarthy. I can't believe I remember that. And she never really joined AA, but she went because she just wanted to be around other women who were sober. If that's okay to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And don't let anybody chase you away and say that's not okay. Don't let anybody chase you away. If you go to a meeting and people are pounding on you that you're not doing it right because you're not doing all it, then just find a different place to go to.
You're a real crumb bum.
Right. Now, I'll say this. If you're having trouble staying sober, right. If you're struggling and you keep relapsing, then maybe you want to give AA a try. But if you sort of have if you have sobriety and you feel okay and your life isn't a total mess, stop in, because the truth is when you stop in and when you talk about your alcoholism, immediately there will be people who understand you. You don't find that out in the normal world. You don't. Like, I can't talk about my alcoholic drinking. I can't tell my stories to people because they get scared, right? They do. They get afraid. They're like, what? Because they don't see me that way. So I can't tell those stories to the normal people out there. But I can tell any story in my groups, especially I don't tell all of my stories in any meeting, but there's some meetings I go to, and I'll tell any story in my regular meeting. I'll tell any story in my men's meeting, because, those guys understand me, and they love me, and they'll take care of me.
Right.
You are a lush, I can tell by looking at you.
Well, that's not necessary. You took it one step too far. We get the point.
That's it. So, so ride that peak cloud. Ride it. But be careful with it. It does pop. And you want to be ready. And you want to be ready for that pop, because that's the other thing that happens. If you're not doing work and that pops, I got to believe a lot of relapses happen around that time, right?
Yes. Is
that if you're not doing the work, all of a sudden, shit hits the fan, and now you're like, oh, what's going on? I remember that happened to me, and I'll talk with when I first came into the program in '95. Okay, I came in and I did all that stuff. I stopped drinking. I talk about it all the time. I took away the alcohol, and I thought I was cured. I wasn't, and I remember about 3-4 years into the program, my life was getting shitty again. And I remember thinking to myself, why is this happening? Right? Why is this happening? Because I took away the alcohol. Why is my life getting better?
Right.
Today I know, right? Today I understand why. Because my drinking and my alcoholism are two different things. And I addressed my drinking, but I never addressed my alcoholism the first time through the program. So that's why my life didn't get better. You may find it differently out there. It works differently for you, but that's the way it worked for me. And it was till I came back. I needed to relapse. I did, and I needed to come back in here and do it the right way. And the second time, I didn't have that big pink cloud, but there still was some relief that I could get healthy again.
This is also a key. You touched upon it a little bit, that life doesn't get perfect because you stop drinking.
No.
Life is going to happen where things are like your daughters go down within 3 or 4 days of each other and they get injured. Your wife gets hurt. You have older parents. You lose a job. You think of it, there's things you just get into a funk that it's not perfect. These are the things you would have drunk over. So if you're thinking, why are things happening that are bad, that I'm not happy about in life? I got sober, things should be perfect. Isn't that the way it is for people in recovery? And the answer to that is no. Tony L. used to talk about, first year I got sober, my mom died, my dad died, my daughter committed suicide, I went to the hospital. In the last 5 years, I lost my job, I lost my house, and I stayed sober. I don't know if that's the whole list, but he'd go down this list of all these things that happened, and then he was sober through it. Your life is going to be like everybody else's life. There are highs and there are lows, and in between, there's a lot of just plateaus. The difference is, if you take recovery seriously, you have the tools to get through it so you don't have to drink. And if you can get through that pink cloud, you have built enough of an on-ramp that you can take that. Asking for help is important too, because you are denying another person happiness by not asking them for help. I would say the most important thing is build as best connections to as many people in recovery as you possibly can so that they can help you.
Right. Find your community.
Yes.
Right? That's
whatever that looks like.
Right. Whatever that looks like to you, whether it's online, whether it's in person, whether it's wherever it might be, whether you're paying for it. There's so many options out there today to find your community so that you have and find the people who are going to be there for you through thick and thin, right? Mm-hmm. I knew that as soon as I asked for help, I would get help. Right? I knew it. I know the guys. I know these guys. I know when I asked Edson to help me build, I know he would come and help me build that ramp. Mm-hmm. We have to work the schedule around, but I know he would show up, and he did, and we did it, and we knocked it off yesterday, and it's great. Find those people in your life. They will help you. They will help you stay sober. And here's the final thing that I'll say about this whole thing is that one one of the things happens is when I got sober is not only did I learn how to deal with the stresses of life, I stopped making my own messes.
Ah, yes.
Right? I
Stop
did.
making it worse.
Right. And I mean, that didn't happen instantly. That took skill. That took teaching. I stopped making my own messes that would then cause stress and would make me want to drink more. So lots of positives. Find the community. Get a sponsor if you're in AA. Do what you can while you're riding that pink cloud, but be prepared that it is going to burst.
Well, the pink cloud isn't the end of something. It's really the start of something. It's the start of your real sobriety. This is what I want from you. I want you to share your own experience. Did you crash after the cloud? Did it get better? Did it get worse? Was it a plateau? And then what you do. You can shoot me an email, matt@soberfriendspod.com, or on all the social medias, TikTok, Instagram, @soberfriendspod. I like to share this stuff because it's something that could help someone else, and I love to hear your feedback. Plus, why don't you go to soberfriendspod.substack.com and check out the weekly newsletter when I am cognizant of doing it. I've been bad about it, but I'm going to work on it because I'm burnt. But I think I'm getting back on it. We'd love to hear that. We'd love for you to sign up because it is another way of addressing your sobriety in writing if you're not a podcast type or if you need to do both. Right. And one more thing, hit follow when you go to your podcast on this. I'm sure there's many of you listening to it, but you're not following the podcast. You're not getting it every week. Please do that. Steve, have an awesome rest of your weekend.
Thanks, Matt.
And we will talk to everybody next week. Bye, everybody.